Hello there, welcome to Art Talk. This is Steven Silver, and I wanted to share today with you what I kind of know, or I think I know for sure, on how the animation industry is changing and evolved. And that's what's happening. The world of art is just changing. It goes through all these different stages, all these different progressions, and we've experienced a lot of things ever since it really started, from the early advertising and all of a sudden being replaced by photography was replacing artists at an earlier point, and people evolved and they got more into humorous illustration, which helped a whole different advertising era. But what I wanted to say is, when I first started in the industry, it was about 24 years ago. And that was a time when, man, there was just a 1997, and it's not even that long, but it was flourishing. You know, there a lot of the studios, major studios, were hiring. They supported the art. It was about the artists. And even when I was working at Warner Brothers, in between any sort of jobs we were on, if a show finished, they kind of kept you over just to develop, just keep you around. Hey, develop something, just start drawing, seeing what you can come up with. There was a lot more time for a lot of different things. And now, again, times have changed, and it's about understanding that times are going to change, that you have to evolve, and knowing what the landscape is now, what we're really moving into, to where it's not so much about getting hired at that place and being there for a long time. That's not going to happen. It's very rare. There are some studios that do hold on to, some key players and some people, and they stay there for a very long time, okay? But it's not the norm so much anymore. So now it's about getting you in, having you do the work, and getting you out. It's a production process. Hey, just lowering a budget, shortening the production schedules. So a lot of these different things are happening as things are evolving. A lot more is moving into freelance now, where you not have to be an in-house person so much, but it's important to establish yourself and get established. But what I really wanted to tap on was just what you have to think. It's about a mindset. This is all the sort of stuff that I teach at my school, or what I want to really get across, to just the students, is you got to think of life now, and I've mentioned it, it's just that series of campfires, right? So where you have many different things that you're doing, you have to be involved in that way. You can't just focus and say, you want to have those goals, but it can't just be one thing. You want to open up and create many things and many opportunities. So you're doing a little bit of this, you're doing a little bit of that. So in a sense, you may even have a full-time job, but what you want to do is be working on the side on your own little projects, your entities, and that becomes a job too. So you got this part-time job, but you got to be willing to do that, and you got to be willing to put in the effort to do that, and that's what it takes. So if you're open to that and say, you know what, I'm maybe not as established right now, I haven't started, but I'm going to start thinking broader in that scope. And I think when you start thinking like that, then you can just keep creating new opportunities for yourself and being open. But on top of that, knowing that the landscape is changing, it's harder to get those jobs in the studios, a lot of stuff going overseas. This is why you have to be developing your own content. There's just no other way, because there just isn't. So you have to think, again, have that mindset. But what's happening too is, and I was just at the CTN Expo, and I looked at just a lot of portfolios through there, and I realized, just some of the major things that I'm missing, okay? There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of students coming out who just, again, sometimes I don't know that they're being taught the right things, but they're just coming out and they just don't know where to go or what to do, and they don't have that direction on what to apply themselves in. And are the jobs even there for them? No, in the studios. So that's why you have to keep setting up your own thing. But what I found is what's so vital, which you got to have in your portfolio, which I just saw missing over and over again. These are just some of the things that I just kind of wanted to mention. So I'm going to start with the bad things that I just kept seeing over and over again in portfolios. As people are just getting out there, they're finishing school, they have no direction, they don't know where to go. Number one is just spending way too much time on details. way too much time. All I saw was so many portfolios of people doing the rendered, the computer, and listen, it's important to learn how to color. It's important to learn how to use the computer. I use it. But you gotta have the foundation too. People are just painting it. They're just trying to polish something which isn't, which has no substance. It has no feeling. It has no life. It has no story. They're just polishing nothing. So it's just a rock and with nothing more. And I think the most important thing is don't get caught up in just, oh my God, look at that pretty drawing, that pretty painting. I gotta paint like that. I'm gonna do this, concept design. But it's not gonna get you anywhere. You have to build and learn the foundation. And that was number one, which was missing, was the drawing skills. Just the drawing was just gone. And that's what sort of makes me concerned about a lot of the people, the students that I saw coming out of places where there was no foundation of the drawing and it's just trying to color stuff. So you gotta watch that first and foremost. And that's the piece of advice I gave everyone over and over again, was you gotta just draw more. You just gotta draw more. And that's it, through observation. Is key, through photos, through life, through videos. Everything is the observation. But what I found was there was the lack of ideas, where people weren't using their imagination as much. It was just, there was no story, there was no idea behind the characters. There was the lack of the solid drawing and the construction of a drawing, even how to just basically construct a drawing, okay? This is personally why I don't have computers at my school. There's no computers because I want you to draw. I want you to draw with your bare hands, and that's it. And, learn that, build that up, and that'll carry you through the foundation, and you're going to learn. And then you start to add all the extra little ingredients on top. You build it around the drawing foundation, okay? Lack of feeling, emotion, and gesture, in the drawing. Just all the characters, they just didn't, again, say anything, even if it was for 2D. Design, which is very prevalent, which I encourage people just to learn a lot about the 2D, the TV realm of character design too, because that's huge. That's, if there are those jobs, that's where there's a lot of the jobs. No, I don't want to say a lot, but it ties into the storyboards and everything else. When you learn how to just design simply, that can help. Okay, so the lack of feeling, emotion, okay, lack of versatility. I didn't feel there was enough variety in that portfolio, especially you're commercial artists. You can't, just have the one style. The one style lends itself, if you just want to be an illustrator and you got your set style, you're going to do your books, you're going to do your magazine stuff, you're going to do your illustrations, that's setting up that one style which is consistent, where people are familiar, know with who they're getting and what they're getting. But in the commercial side, animation side, TV, gaming, everything else, every show is different, every game is different, every movie is different. So you have to be versatile. You just can't be drawing the same thing, So show your fruits, show everything, okay? The next thing is, again, I mentioned too much rendering going on. Lack of focus for a position, all right? Like, what do you want to do? I don't know. I want to do concept design. Forget it. You can't just say, I want to do concept design. What does that mean? And it's got to be for something, more specific. And this is where, once you find and start to learn about that and just learn about what it is inside you're trying to achieve, that's when things will start happening too, okay? And then the good things that I saw. There was lots of variety in the portfolio. And this isn't just, master of, trying to be jack of all trades. I say find that focus. Some people are showing storyboards or character design, but they want to be a storyboard, and it's all over the place. You want to have a specific target, a specific goal. The portfolios are becoming way too generic. And then good draftsmanship. Number one, again, you got to learn how to draw. That's the missing ingredient. Forget about all the color stuff. You learn how to draw, build up the foundation, and that'll really help you, okay? Learn the color. That comes in time. You can work hand in hand with that, absolutely, but don't neglect the drawing, please. There was good pushed attitudes. The attitudes and the feeling and the emotion and the energy was all there within the characters. Pushed expressions, good. That was missing a lot in people. The construction, good ideas. They had turnarounds, and they had to focus on a specific task and position. So my camera's doing some crazy, weird stuff. I don't know if it's going to show up like this, but if it is, it's very cool and very Weird. So I'm going to stop it now, but thanks again. Please subscribe, and thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.